Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting session of the 3D Shenanigans. Mr. Kevin is here. Thank you so much for the super chat donation. Really appreciate that. Mr. Leo DeGrants, Star crew member, also thank you so much for being here. Miss Julia is in the audience, and there's many other people watching. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate that. Like Nancy, wonderful to see you. This is really nice. And look, the bot's thanking you as well, even though it's with a minute and a half delay. I mean, you know, it's better late than never. It's all good. I'm in for doing some 3D bits and pieces. Of been a bit of a continuation of something that I've started over on Twitch, but it was only ever animation. So let me just go and bring that project up, and then we're going to go and dig right in. It's 5 characters. I think two of them are Daz characters, and 3 of them are part of this project here. In fact, this game animation sample project here that came with that project, and I've added an animation packet called Party something from Mocap Online. I forgot what the party dance party. That's it, dance party, and I think it was called. What was it called? I think I've called it Dance Party. Well, Dance Party, there we go. That was the original, and I've turned it into this. And currently it's only dancing people, and I don't have a background for it. So I was thinking I'm going to go and build something around it. It doesn't have to be fully fledged, but I'm going to have a look at something that was a freebie, I believe, last month. It's called the Neo Tokyo environment, I think, something like that. Neo Tokyo, or Stylized Tokyo, that was it. I've added that to the project. I've had a look at it, and I think it's going to be suitable, but you know, it's not quite built out yet. So that's what this stream is for, and I thought I'll do that together with you. How have you guys been doing? How's your Sunday treating you? Tell me all the good things, all the bad things. Julie and I have a really chilled out Sunday. We've tried to play some Talos Principle, and that's a very tricky, difficult game. But it's also very exciting if you can figure out some of the puzzles. And we're getting to the latest part in the game. I think it's sort of the boss fight of puzzles, and it's difficult. So one of those things. Let's see if I can remember what I did, how I did it. And there's also something that I think I've loused up in the project. So let's see if we can fix it. That's something that was... Okay, here it is. And I think movie render key we probably don't need just now. Oh yeah, it was, I think I may have loused up my viewport camera in this. Don't think we need cinematic. We can probably switch it over to high here. Yeah, so I know how you can go wider and less wide. Or can I? How did I do that again? That wasn't here. That was for the speed. How did we do that again? Was it... I think that's the first thing we need to fix. If anybody knows how to reset the viewport camera in Unreal Engine, please let me know, because I have no idea. Oh, there we go. Field of view, that's it. That's to make it, that's one thing. And then there's the far view plane. I think we don't need to concern ourselves with that. Oh, that's this. So that was this already. I don't recall what the default was. I don't think it was 80. I think it was something more like 60. That's already a big help. 60, I don't think that's also not quite correct. Maybe it was more like 35. That is at least what the... No, 35 is not good. Is not good either. What is the default? I can't remember now. Maybe I'll go and open a different project here. Maybe this one. The original. That's an Unreal Engine 4, but I think I can probably deduce what that's... How to fix that up. The other problem that I had was that the viewport camera was on a roll, and that was problematic. So we'll see how to fix that. I have no idea. I don't know. So you can press F to center the camera around an object, but that doesn't change its properties. So let's see what this camera is set up as. Do we have the same bits and pieces here? Yeah, 90. So 90 field of view and screen percentage is 100. 90 and 100. Let's see if we have the same settings here. We don't really. If I put this to 90, oh, 90, it is 90. Looks like 90 it is. Maybe it was 90. There we go. Our first hurdle already tackled. This is good. Right then, so I think I've saved my bits and pieces. Let's go to Control Shift S to really save that. I think mine is in here, animation test, and then Tokyo animation. That was just a little moving around. So I'm going to go and take a new copy of that level. But let me show you what I have for now, and then we can take it from there. And I think I'll go about 2 hours, but until 7 Eastern Standard Time. That's my plan. Unless, things stop working, in which case I might throw in the towel much earlier than that, but hopefully it's not going to happen. Art is not optional. So good to see you, buddy. Indeed. Good day to you too, sir. How's the mainsail? Is it dry yet? Has it dried up? Yeah, you really don't want to fold that when it's wet. That is bad. This is taking so long, by the way, because, well, first of all, because Unreal Engine 4 is still open in the background here, I would imagine, but also because Cloth Dynamics are just resource eaters, really. They are hungry. They're very, very hungry. So yeah, let's see if we can even load it in. So my original plan was to maybe just take a pre-built level and put it, just attach it to my animation level, but that doesn't work very well. So my next plan is to just take some assets and put them around so that my guys can dance in situ. And then I think I might also go and take another look at the cameras and see if we can make them look a little bit better. Mainly you wait, these days you just wait for progress bars that may or may not eventually, end. Often they don't. And then you find a different hobby, like, play a video game or play that raft game inside of Fortnite yesterday. That was exciting. I did stop when I said I was going to stop, so I did not play 7 extra hours afterwards. Trust me on that. %, huh? Maybe that's as far as we're gonna get. Maybe it'll be faster if I just set up that animation again from scratch. Nope, no, hang on. Here we go. Things are happening. 86%. I like it. I like it. Just in case there's any employers out there who wonder, why does it take so long for these guys to make Unreal Engine projects? This is why. This is a non-level. There's 5 characters and a floor. And nothing else. And that took us like, a good 5 minutes to load. So hey, one of those things. So let me see what I've got here. I've got, this is my animation, and the guys are allow cinematic control. We don't have a camera. There we go. Camera cuts track is here. So this is my animation. And when we render this out, the clothing is gonna waft around. So it's not gonna do that in the preview, but it's gonna do that later on. And because it's just currently got just blackness and some dead moments in the camera, I wanna make that a little bit more snappy. So I've got a second camera track that I'm gonna render out just from the orange dress, because I think that looks probably the best. But his coat and some of her movements also look quite nice. So I'm going to go and render those out separately and then combine them in the post. There's also a little bit of depth of field going on. So this isn't bad. I think this is kind of cool. But ideally we want them to do this in something like a, like a city type background. And I was thinking I'm going to go and use the, thank you guys. Thank you for the demonstration. I'm going to use the Tokyo stylized environment for that. So let's have a look at the whole level and see if we can take some parts of this out and either rebuild them and also see how this is made. So I'm not that familiar with this level. I don't know if I'm going to keep the current sky environment in here or if I'm going to replace that with ultra dynamic sky. So this would be interesting already if we have them dance here. That might be nice. But the problem is a bit like in DAZ Studio as well. You can't really you can't move the people once they've been animated, or you can, but it's fairly difficult. So I'll see how I'll see about both approaches. I might just go and bring them in here, and yeah, maybe that's a nice one. So I'll set that as my bookmark number 1. Could be here. This is where they could be dancing. Let's have a look at the environment here. This might be a little bit shady. I did like the idea that we see a bit of depth here. That's sweet. This was free. I'm not sure if it was free this month or last month. I think it might have been last month. Yeah, this is where it sort of ends. Yeah, I think maybe on this red bit here, that might be quite nice. There's also these trees here, so let's see if we can put them in here. That might be nice, and if I can, have my camera do something like that, I'm good with that. The trench coat, that's a free character actually. He's called Twin Blast. If you look on the Unreal Engine marketplace, it is let's see if I can find Tokyo first of all. Yes, that guy is Tokyo stylized environment. That's it. I'll go and put that into the chat. And see if it's still free. If it isn't, it's. I was actually considering getting this before I knew it was free, so this was kind of nice. I'll go and put. I'll have a look for Twin Blast. He is definitely free. He was actually a Paragon character. Twin Blast, and that's the guy with the code here, Paragon Twin Blast. There's a lot of these guys out there from a video game Epic wanted to make called Paragon, or was supposed to be called Paragon, and they were developing Fortnite at the time, and this was something similar in a sort of fantasy setting, but they canned it, but they had already developed a lot of these assets. And they were kind enough to make them all available for free. So there we go, Mr. Chris. That is so nice of you to show up. I'm glad to see you, Mr. Chris. You get yourself a shout out. There we go. Happy Sunday, my man. Happy Sunday. Okay, so since this is a level I don't want to necessarily touch, let me go and save this in maps. I might just go and oversave this because that was just a test. So Tokyo environment, I'm going to go oversave that, and this is where we can try to play animation, and I'm going to see if I can move the characters in play so that they that it might be tricky, but I'm gonna try it. So it said it couldn't do it. So let's go and save this again as something like Tokyo Animation V2. Easy. Chris with quadruple S. I like it. There's a lot of decals in here. There's blocking volumes. Environment. Yeah, this lighting, I might take that out. This is a cinematic. We can't actually play. Okay, so let's go take that one out as well. There's a lot of groups here. And I just want to see if it uses baked lighting. So see if we have any looks like we don't have any light mass importance volumes or reflection captures, because if we did, we don't need them anymore. I think before we do anything else, I'm going to go and select everything except for the lighting and put that into he says into, is there not move to new level, new folder thing? Where is that option now? That used to be here. That's so bad. It, I tell you, yesterday it was working. Today it's not. What's going down? Create new subfolder. There we go. Not so much here. That's the Tokyo environment. That's supposed to be at the top here, ideally. It doesn't want to do it, does it? It doesn't want to do it. Fine. That's bad, isn't it? Why doesn't this work? That's already bad. Make a new folder like here. Why doesn't that work on the root level? That's so crazy. There we go. So Tokyo. Everything except for the lighting goes in there, so I can have, hello, everything except for the lighting. Dude, seriously, why is this so difficult? Everything goes into yes. There we go, perfect. And then the rest also. Group actors, sometimes they don't want to do that, bizarrely. They don't want to be slotted into folder. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Don't ask me why. It just there we go, that's perfect. And I think there was one other thing that needs to be in the lighting section, which is this one here, that move to lighting. Okay, that was volumetric clouds. Okay, and then we're going to have another one called cinematics in a moment. Let's go save this. Keep our fingers crossed that nothing crashes. All right, so let's go and import my animation into here. That I think is in cinematics. And was that animation test? I can't remember. I think it was. I think that was it. Let's go and put that in here. And oh yeah, actually one other thing. Let me go back to my previous level, because currently I think the guys are not spawned. They're just assets in the level, and the sequencer takes control of them. But really what I want to do is, yeah, this one we can delete. Can we delete it? Force delete's good. Don't replace references. There we go, that's good. And then animation test, yeah, that was it. I'm going to turn my guys into spawnable characters. So if I make a duplicate of that, animation test, so that's going to be SQ Tokyo V2. I'll call it that. This goes into here as well, and that we go and open up, and all my characters are currently controlled from this, but this level sequence assumes these figures are part of the level. If I load that into a level where there is no characters, it would give me a red flag and say, I can't find the character, have you maybe renamed it? So instead what I can do, I think, right click on this and convert this to a spawnable figure. And what happens is that this character here gets this lightning strike. And that means that the sequencer node will load the character. And that's good for me because all my cameras are spawned. That means if I go and move this whole thing, then the characters will come into the level without me having to reload them in. So I'll go do that for all these characters. Underbelly, Yulia, and Twin Blast. And didn't we have somebody else? Is it just 4 characters? I thought I had 5. No, it's just 4. Oh, we need a 5th character then. Goody. So convert to spawnable. There we go. Now they're all being spawned. And I can prove it by closing the sequencer. That means all the cameras and all the characters will disappear. Yes, there we go. Now it's basically an empty level, which is kind of, that keeps it nice and lightweight here. And also portable. So if I go and open this up now, they won't be at the same place that I expect them to be, but at least give this a color as well here so I can find it again. Maybe something like a minty sort of green. There. And now I know where my cinematics are. So Tokyo V2, I'll go and put this into here. And the moment I go and open that, I should now somewhere see my characters. Look at that. Wow. And they're in this position. I don't know if I want them like that. So this is now going to be a little bit, you know, depends on what we want to do here. If we're going to go and move all this around, I think I'm going to, that's probably the plan. It is slick, isn't it, Art? Absolutely. And it's also good for reusability. So if I have, if I like the camera animation and the people, how they do their thing, but I want that in a different level, I could just go and do the same thing. So yeah, that's quite nice. The problem, as so often with 3D, it happens now. I suppose my cameras, they might not work, and the guys are, you know, it's just not in the right position. So I'm going to have to find a way to either move the environment. Oh, it's a possibility, or I have to move the character. So I've never tried this in Unreal Engine. So let's see how that would work if we've got all the cameras and all the characters. And these guys here, they're the characters. Let's go put them in a folder, and then we have the cameras here as well. I might go and put them also in the same folder. I might go and call all of these things cinematics here, so that all goes into another folder. Cinematics there. So then if I go and select everything inside cinematics, I should be able then to go and move it around. Is that correct? Am I assuming that right? No, of course not. That's Jay, what are you thinking? That is of course not quite the case. So select all descendants. There we go. And then can we move stuff? Yeah, we can. And does that also move the cameras? Does it? It certainly does. That is good. Okay, let me undo that. This is already pretty positive. I do like that. Let me go and take the level sequence out, because that's sort of ruining my breakfast here for now, just while I'm moving that, all descendants. Now the pivot point is in a slightly nicer position. I suppose the first thing we'll do is rotate these guys around by 180. There's a lot of stuff that's moving, so it's a little tricky. Was that 180 degrees? It certainly wasn't, was it? Is there a way I can type that in here somewhere? Not without causing a fuss here. Let's go on with 90, and then I can at least just go, come on, 90 and one more. You can do it. Oh, almost. That's 190 too much. Tux, how's it going, buddy? Indeed, yeah, some of the cameras. I'm not happy with the camera work anyway, so I'm actually happy that that we're taking care of that. So now they're facing the right way. I want this in the background. I didn't want the other thing in the background, so that's good. How's it going? I haven't seen you in ages. How you been? Let's say we want to be here. So cameras and characters together is sort of it's a bit of a feat of engineering to to move all that. And now let's see what we can do in regards to moving you guys up a tad. Let's try 20 or 30. Also, let's hope that the ground is fairly even. One more, buddy. There we go. So that isn't bad. Maybe just a little bit further over to the right. Me too. I don't know what it's going to be like. I've had the girl in the orange dress. She got quite a bit of quite a few views on YouTube because I had her in sort of a real-time project when Epic launched this with the motion matching, and she attracted quite the crowd on both this channel and on the 3D Shenanigans channel, and it's quite nice to see that. So I was thinking maybe I can make something that's now rendered on the sequencer. So let's see what this is like. If I go and preview that, do the cameras, well, aside from them bumping into things, they do still sort of work, except for this. What is that? I don't know what that was. So yeah, I might have to redo the cameras, but I wasn't very happy with that camera work anyway. So let's see if we can make that better. So forget the cameras. Do they move properly? Except for Underbelly, who's moving into the ground a little bit there. I think all the other feet are sort of believable on the ground. I think Underbelly, it could even be that this part of the road is slightly elevated. So I might just go and just move him up a little bit. I like that they retained their position relative to one another, so that's quite nice. I don't know why his cloth sim works and nobody else's does. But hey, that's okay. I'm fine with it. Hey Camilla, how's it going? There'll be swinging, swaying, records playing, dancing in the street. Exactly. I don't know if there are some particle effects here when we play this. Let's try that. Let's go and just quickly save this out here. I've never actually, I think there might be, and if we're lucky. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot here. I don't think I had a player start. I'm just interested to see, so there's some movement on the trees, but sometimes there's also this nice little cherry blossom particle effect that they have there. And if this is not included in here, I think I have one from a different project I could probably use, because particles, they just do it, don't they? It looks like we don't have one. It looks like we don't have one. Like falling leaves here, that'd be kind of cool. But that's, icing on the cake, as they would say. There's also some background action that I might create for this, just so that we can keep it interesting. Okay, but for now, I think maybe this is good. I'll put a player start here just so that we can, just in case we need it. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, let's try that again. Oh, because we're not. That wasn't my fault. I had the bits and pieces there missing. Let me just have a look for that particle effect. Do we have any effects? No. Grass? No, I don't think we do. Oh, there's a train that's going. Oh, there we go. That here. Open that. Oh, are you not here? Sometimes when you load in level sequences and they rely on an asset like this, it comes up with this error message here. But if you go and fix actor references, if it finds it, there's that train. So if we do have it, if we do want to see that, this train's moving. It's nice. I don't know if we will see it, but it might be nice. So just because it already comes with this animated train. Yes, one thing at a time. That is a very good point. Yes, exactly. It's one of those things. There's just so much to do all the time. One thing at a time is not a bad call. So let's remember maglev is in fact a level sequence that we can use. This is good for Mr. Neville. How's it going? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Back to my people then here, and how to do the cameras for said people. Let's go and work on that, and then we're going to go and work on these, you know, icings on the cake type stuff. I'm wondering if it's worth just ditching all the cameras and just starting again. Let's see if there's any that might work. So the overhead one, yeah, the overhead one needs to be redone completely, but it wasn't a difficult one. Overhead, then we have this one. That is also, yeah, that's screwed up, so I'm gonna have to go and redo that. Yeah, look, I think something with the translation just didn't work out okay. But that's fine. I'm more concerned about the characters. Yeah, so it looks like they're all screwed. But I think the concepts of them worked okay. So let's see if we can do the overhead one first. So any of these keyframes I'll just ditch, and we'll do this again. It really wasn't that big a deal. It was just something of a master shot that I can go to no matter what happens. But since we now have these trees here, I might just go and have something, like this as well. So I didn't quite know that. Do we need to have them? Yeah, so if it's an overhead shot, anything that looks interesting is good. So imagine some background action going on as well. In fact, this would probably want to be on the other side then here. And then we can just go and move this over here. And then we can move, we're nearly back here. So I think I'll just split the difference here. And I just have something that's moving all the time when I want to go and see something like a master shot. That's not bad. So then the next one, wide right to left. Let's see. So that didn't work well, but I think the starting position can work. Let me do that. Starting position is fine still, but the rest we're gonna go ditch. I like that. This ditch, and then from here I suppose we want to just go and pan over here again, something like a secondary master shot. And then we do the same on the way back, this here, and then that goes back here. We just have something to show that always looks sort of good. And then we'll have a look at the close-ups next. Wow, that sounds cold, Camilla. Chris Ilkoff, how you doing, buddy? No, you could be right. That is possible. You have good eye, Chris. It's very possible. I haven't actually looked too closely at the feet throughout the animation. With feet, I think the easiest way to fix that is to just not show the feet, not show the feet so much, or only fix what you actually see in the animation. So rather than spend a lot of time fixing every foot position on the ground, you just wait for later and say, do we actually see that? And then if you do see it, then fix that one frame. Rare right. What was I thinking there? Some of the, oh yeah, I see. So we do, yeah, that could be good. And then we just go and go around sort of medium close on these guys. That could work. You have a very good eye though, I have to say, very good. Old animator's trick. Brian would be proud. And then the close-ups we spent a bit more work on. So like awkward shots we don't necessarily want to see. Yeah, it might be too far. Maybe we'll go closer on these guys because that's a nice. It's sort of I liked how that came out here with these guys. And then before it gets boring, we might go and do this. That might be too fast, but we don't have to show it as long as this looks okay here. And then we might go just further back like this. Yeah, so aside from this fast move here, I think we're okay. It certainly looks better than it did before. Then close back roll. This could be, I think this was a close-up on one of the clothing items. Again, only the first keyframe has survived. I think that is what I did here. I just tried to keep one person's clothing in a relative close up here. So let's just go steps through this. And I think the camera is already tracking this. Does it? Oh, it's forgotten what it's supposed to track. Track her. And then I'll just keep that in focus at all times. Even if we change positions. And then once I've stepped through this, I'll go and do a bit of camera roll on this as well, because that looks quite nice too. And this is fine if that just looks a little erratic. We're just going to go to this like for a second at a time or 2 seconds at a time. I could do this with point at, but there's other considerations about that, so let's not worry about that. I'm also thinking I could probably, or at least on the DAS characters, I can add an ML deformer to this. That means the character's bends look a little bit better. If you see especially the elbows, they really deform quite badly, and the knees. Will just look so much better with an ML deformer. And there we go. So that should keep her in vision most of the time. Whoops. Sometimes Chaos Cloth just disappears. I was doing an animation this week where I had a character, and all the while I was doing this, she was clearly wearing a shirt, And then by the moment I rendered it out, the shirt was gone. And I was thinking, I was showing this to my boss and I said, well, trust me, she was wearing a shirt. It's weird how this happens sometimes. This reminds me of all my colleagues at MTV who had to film many a concert. And that's often a challenge, especially if you do it live, because you never know what the musicians are going to do on stage as they perform. So that's what this is a little bit like that. On the wide shots, that is still my rule. On the close-ups, different thing altogether. My other boss, yes, I'm my boss, but I have other people to answer to as well if I work for other people. Treehouse Bandit, how's it going, buddy? Top of the evening to you. Julia's not so much my boss. We're more like, equal partners in a company. But yeah, she's the ultimate boss, of course, yes. What was I thinking? Good to hear, Treehouse, good to hear. So this was a bit more work on that camera, and I'd like to have, I think, one or two more. What was I thinking here? Underbelly close. I think he deserved a camera as well, but since he doesn't have his cloth dynamics aren't fantastic, it's just more like the character. That's quite nice. Do you know what? I actually had to, did I do that on him? Or was that on the animation I did this week? I sort of forgot. Everything just blends into one thing. I noticed that Genesis 8 characters are really not that easy to work with in Unreal Engine. 8.1 characters are much easier to work with. They have much less issues. And so if ever you need to do that, go choose a Genesis 8.1 character. I don't recall what I did on him here. I think I may have used the 8.0 character, and in hindsight I shouldn't have done that. You pick him, there we go. I don't know why that is the case, so I'm just gonna go and stay sort of here and keep him in a medium close up, and I'll do a bit of camera roll once I've stepped through this here. His clothing is actually chaos cloth. It's almost like we need a second camera from his other side here. Yeah, so roll, I can do that better with a second viewport. This is already pretty distorted roll wise. Don't know what happened. I can't tell you. Thank you, camera. That's really helpful. Let's just turn some of these invisible here. In fact, let's turn them all invisible. So with cameras, it's one of those things. Sometimes you want them visible, sometimes you don't. So I like tracking the visibility on the sequencer while I work, because it's just a bit easier. They don't show when you play back the scene, but they do show while you work in the viewport. I don't mind you leaving the frame sometimes, but if you're going away too much, we got a problem. And what I didn't do here is facial animations at all, so I might do that later, but I like Tuck says, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Okay, and that was the last camera I had. I might add a fifth character. I didn't know there were only 4 people here, so we might get a fifth one, possibly. But let's leave those and do some effects and see if we get the concept going. Okay, so I'll do a second viewport here. And in one of them, I'll view the camera, and you won't be able to see that. I'll show you. This is that viewport, and I'll view the underbelly close camera in here. While in here, I'm going to go and eject it and go and change the camera itself. So this is it, and you can tell how much on a roll it is, and I'll be able to now rotate it in the viewport and see when I'm happy visually here on the other side. Actually, maybe I'll try to leave it. Shall I try to leave it in here? I'll try, and you can see how this goes. I'll do away with snapping, and so like from one shot to the next. If you hold down Shift, you'll always snap onto the keyframes here. So I can then even that out here from shot to shot. Some might look good even, who knows? Some I might want to adjust further. But it's important to do it on the keyframes rather than, rather than in between or with a different object selected. Those additional keyframes, they can be quite the pest, I tell you. They can be quite the pest. Are they actually? Oh, your cat gets insulin? My goodness. That's exciting. I didn't know that. Your cat's diabetic? I had no idea that is a thing. I can see why it sort of would be a thing. Poor cat. So that was not bad. Let's see what the so-called final cut would look like from here. And wherever it's boring, we just do something differently. Like I can definitely see like a fifth character sort of here. And effects. And as I said, I have more of the dress. I might just go and render that camera out in separately. We'll see how it goes. So it's certainly not perfect, but it's not bad. I think the beginning is a little boring. Let's see if I can find a better camera on this. Should we start here maybe? I think maybe just make a split here, and then here we can show the overhead. And this is supposed to be overhead, buddy. It is overhead, but that's the overhead. Why are you not showing it? That is... I'm very disappointed, man. This is rare. This isn't overhead. It's just not showing it. It's saying it is, but then it's not actually showing it. Curious and curious. Oh, in older cats, okay. Yes, kidney issues I know about. I mean, they hardly ever drink, do they? That's whose fault is that? Cats, just go drink. I think he has both hairy arms and tattoos. I think he has both of these things. I don't know how well the hairy things show up. So this is a little weird here. Oh, I see. They were overlapping. There's some overlapping things here. This should be the overhead now. There we go. Okay. It's overhead. This is a nicer establishing way. I could see some background action like driving cars and stuff like that. That's a cool one as well. And then I think that needs to be replaced with maybe this. And we might correct that when underbelly goes out of camera here. I might go and move that over. And this again, I think there's something wrong here. Yeah, let's go via the overhead here as well. It's exciting that we can actually go and do these sort of concept edits directly in Unreal Engine. Back in the day, it would have been more comfortable to do to render out all cameras and then do this as a multi-edit in your video editor. But it's extremely cool that we can just do that here before we even render anything out, you know. So you save yourself a lot of work. I've been meaning to do a bit of Dutch on the dress camera as well, because I really like that on underbelly. So let's do that next. Do you know this is how we spell it in Germany as well? Instead of MJAU, we put, instead of the J, we put an I. That is how cats meow in Germany. But in Japan, I think they meow very differently. They say Nian, I think. I don't remember. Brian could tell you. But yeah, it depends on where you are in the world. That's where cats meow differently. Treehouse, I'm just seeing this, a quaternion interpolation checked. Have I? Tell me where it is. I'm going to have a look. Thank you for letting me know that even exists. I have no idea. Let's do the close up, the dress cam. Why is it not called dress cam? Which one was that? Number 4. So let's go and rename that one. This is going to be called close up dress cam. Oh, let's keep it in line with dress close up, or just close, that's fine. Let's use the second viewport for this again. And we'll just have a look at that here, and then that's just a preview. Whereas here, I'll go and make that camera visible again, and then I'll go and control it to see what that we're good and getting some handsome shots here. Yeah, me. Yeah. The underbelly is naked in this shot, but he isn't in that. Go figure. I have no idea why that is. Oops. It's not even iRay. It's like you're quite right though. There is a different viewport. This is basically texture shaded view. What we know from DAZ Studio, unlit. Unreal Engine calls it. Sometimes things show up a little bit. It could be that. Let's put it to lit so that we have the same render. So it could well be that. Well spotted, Art. See, art is not optional. Hidden exhibitionist. I like it. Yeah, that might be a little too close, huh? The thing with animation is everything takes forever. Literally forever. It's very rewarding, but it's also, you know. Hey Tuck, I was gonna say, I was so happy that I have snagged up a free 1-year Marvelous Designer license. That was quite nice. I'm looking forward to exploring some of the new features, like the cloth dynamic export from Marvelous Designer into Unreal Engine. It's going to be exciting. Are you still working on the bridge? The DAZ to Marvelous Designer bridge? If you're still here, that is. I understand people can, you know, wander off every once in a while. So like this looks handsome. So there's some good B-roll in here, as they say. Let's close this down, and I think that's not bad. That's not bad. If we find good music, nice color correction, bit of background action. Oh, she's tripping through here, doesn't she? That is not good. Yeah, we need to find a way for that to not happen. Yeah, that isn't great, is it? That is pretty bad. Maybe that's what Chris meant earlier. I gotta watch my orange girl here, see if we can See if we can avoid that. Or just move the sidewalk away. I think I could sort of live with when yeah, that we just need to move that away. I think she could just come in a little, or I just do that just strategically. Let me see if I can move the whole character. That's the one, right? Chris, now I see what you mean. Now I see what you mean. Let's see if we can do this. It's dangerously close there. As long as she's not bumping into other people. Yeah, I think Echo can move out of the way as well. So as long as she's not bumping into that. Okay, we're good here. We're good here. Are you now bumping into Echo? Echo is her here. Well, Twin Blast is sort of bumping into her a little bit. And is she? I think we're good. That's the 6th camera that I wanna use through these nice pink trees. I think we're good. Okay. Good eyes there, Mr. Chris. Good eyes. I think something like this would be neat if we could just have something through the trees. Or not, also possible if it looks pants, we're all good. Yeah, that doesn't have to be a long sequence or so, but maybe just every once in a while. I think I might do that. So this could be our 6th one, cam 6 trees. And 35 might even be good. I think focus can be on Echo here. Tracking you, indeed. And I think all I'll do here Where's the camera? Oh, here. Now I see it. All I want to do here is a little, just like that. So that there's always some sort of movement in here. And move that keyframe out of here and here. And that means the movement is already there when we go over to there. So it'll be a nice occasional cutaway. Especially if we do this with good amount of depth of field. So like here, like that point. Good stuff. I think we can totally cut to that at a boring moment. So let's go and see if we can do something about the weather and some of the particle effects. I'm thinking. Have fun and you know, take care of your grandkids. Don't worry about watching the stream. Your grandkids, they're much more important. Oh, step off the sidewalk. That's gonna be tricky. That involves animation work. Okay, so first things first, weather. Weather. We got all this lighting here. If we switch it all off, this is what it's going to look like. And let's see if our old friend Ultra Dynamic Sky is already in the project. So I can go and put that into here. And also Ultra Dynamic Weather. I don't know if we needed it to rain or something. There we go. That's could do with that. I don't think we want rain. Cloudy. I think I'm mainly concerned about the shadows here. Clear skies. With more clouds, maybe. And a different time of day, I'm thinking. So not 9 in the morning, could be more like 4 in the afternoon. No, it's too dark at 4 in the afternoon. Yeah, there we go. We're getting there. Midday. That's nice. If we just look at the background, I think that's the background I'm already more sold on. And brightening up the characters is not a problem. We can just go and do that with what happened here. Something went wrong on the edits here. That's not something we wanted to show. Maybe we can quickly go to our new camera 6 here, the trees. That's the most boring part of that camera. What a shame. And the film, why have you lost your focus on underbelly? We need to talk about this. We totally need to talk about focus here. Oh, I moved the girl, didn't I? You're right. Thank you so much, man. That is so true. I moved the girl. Man, so that means I have to go and reset up the camera. Oh, that is why. That is why. Chris, what would I do without you? I moved the girl, didn't I, after doing the camera? You're so right. Ah. Okay, good. We'll work on that. Put that on the list. We'll put that on the list. I currently can't really decide if the built-in lighting was actually okay versus the one that we're getting here. So from Ultra Dynamic Sky, usually that's very good, but I'm getting quite a bit of shadow here. I have to go and relight that. If I go and switch that off and bring back the regular lighting, maybe I can just avoid some of these harsher shadows. Maybe I'll just do that and just use the directional light here and go soft source angle, do that maybe like 10 or something. Then the shadows look much nicer here. And I think maybe that's all I need to all I need to worry about, and that means we have results, you know, fast and stuff. I think it might also be a little too much. Light, obey me, I say. It looks like it's stuck. So I can't quite decide this versus that, because I do like this lighting solution. That should be cinematic. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, Neville. It's a good question. I'm not sure yet. I'm open to suggestions. What do you think they should be dancing to? Always depends a little bit on what I can get clearance for. I think maybe this. Let me know, what would you do? This here versus that. Now I'm thinking ultradynamic sky. That's just so much nicer with how the light comes through the leaves. Easier to make brighter. I might go and just have a group light on them to emphasize where they are. But I think I do like how that looks through the leaves here. Okay, before we do the camera, I'm totally aware I've only got another 45 minutes. Yes, good point. Exactly. It's really less about what does the sky look like. It's only about the people. Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this. And this lighting here, I might just go and take that out, except for the post-process volume. We do have a player start in here, so let's go take this away and that away. Put these two guys into here. Post-process volume, that also does something. Brighten things up a little bit, so we're going to keep that in, but I haven't really checked the settings on that, so I might do that while we're at it. Doesn't global, that's what I was thinking of. I might actually go and implement my own, just because I don't know what settings are in here. So let me start up with a new one. I think that's in volumes. Post-process volume. And this goes into lighting. And we don't see anything. That's quite good. That's sort of what I want. First of all, the infinite extent, so that it's on everywhere. And then I'm going to go and do this in color grading global. That's it. So contrast and gamma, just a little change on either side. That's without, that's with. So it gets a little bit more of a filmic look. And making it brighter in color correction is no problem. Also, I think I want just one group light here on these guys. Nothing fancy, just an additional. I'm thinking of a rectangle light above y'all. Just so that we brighten them up a tiny bit here. That also with temperature. I think maybe make that a little warmer where they are. And we'll see if they need a rim light. Just gives them a little bit of emphasis here. Don't think they do so, but without and with. So I think that's going to be, it's a nice welcome change. Oh, also one other thing that we can try. We don't have to have that cast shadows here. Although we could. We could. Let's have shadows. Kia ora! How you doing, my man? XSID, what's happening? Welcome to the party. Wonderful to see you all. How is your Sunday / Monday going? I think before we do the camera on the girl and possibly think of a 5th character, because I really think a 5th character would be kind of cool. I would like to. Whoops, that needs to be at the front here. I would like to go and have a quick look. I didn't even want to put this on the sequencer here, but one of those things. It's one of those things. I'll just leave it on here because if I take it away, none of these values are gonna. It's all gonna be complicated. I'm gonna see if I can find these beautiful falling leaves from one of my other projects. If only I could remember what it was called. If only I could remember. Let's see, maybe the thumbnail will jog my memory. I think it was this one here, Messenger Statue. I think that had the particles I'm looking for. Let me just go and have a look at that. Can I use Unreal as motion designer? I don't know what that means, I'm afraid. Elaborate. I might be able to answer that question for you. Does that mean you want to use it as a replacement for Adobe Motion Designer? Are you a motion designer who wants to use it for animated motion graphics? Any context will help. So this is a small animation I did, I think last year sometime. And I think this is an asset by maybe FreshCan. And there was a really nice particle effect in there that I'm gonna steal for this one. It sort of depends. So Cinema 4D is, if I understand it correctly, and I'm not a user, I'm not a cinema user at all, but it's a bit like, it's more like a content creation and visual production sort of tool, whereas Unreal Engine is not a content creation tool. So you still have to have something. This is the effect I'm talking about here. These little pink leaves, by the way. You still have to have something like a tool in which you can create and amend bits and pieces. I don't think Unreal Engine is a good compositor as such, so you'd have to have something in addition to that, like After Effects, even Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, anything that lets you add some more visual pizzazz to your compositions. But it's a game engine at the end of the day, and it's good at rendering environments and rendering 3D assets that you bring in, and then use them on the timeline to, you know, render out nice animations. That's what I use it for. I think mostly it's used for it's used for creating games and game logic with it. So those are things it is really good at. But many of us find that its rendering capabilities are just so good that we don't actually deal with the game engine logic as such. But there's not that many tutorials out there how to get that going, so I'd say no, it's not a replacement for Cinema 4D. I wouldn't say that. Let's see if I find my Niagara instances here, which I'm sure that is what that is. There's only seagulls? That can't be. That can't be. Where are these nice little, what are they called then here? VFX, that's the fireflies, leaves. Is it them? Yes, that could be. P leaf. Yes, that's them. This is what I was looking for. P leaf, where is that? Leaf and leaf 1. I like it. There's also waterfall, that's another effect. And then there's dusty fireflies. I think I'm going to go and take this whole VFX category and migrate that over into my project, which was called You're welcome, sir, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your tips. I really appreciate that, Chris. Wonderful to see you. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'll let you know how it goes. A dance party. Where would I have maybe saved that, you think? Is it was in here maybe? Could be live for target. Dance party. Yes. I found something. Let's put that in here. Yeah, smooth finalization, that's what we want. Let's see if it's arrived here. Has it? The Messenger VFX, okay. The Messenger, I like it. And then there's VFX here. I could really organize this project a little bit, but it takes a while for Unreal Engine to do that. So I might just go and just leave everything as it is. So dust fireflies, what do they look like? That might be good. It's not Niagara, but you know, any visual pizzazz would be kind of cool if we have that in combination with our other visual effects, which is the falling leaves. Very nice. This is P leaf 1. That's already pretty handsome. How about the second one here, leaf 1? Similar. I wonder if they actually fall to the ground. If there is in fact a difference. Oh, the color is different. So we'll use them together. Yes, yes, yes. Nice one. What else? There was also waterfall. I guess we don't have a waterfall here. Let's forget about the waterfall. It's fine. So leaves first and then a few fireflies. I like it. Do we even see it? Oh, I've got real time off. That is why. It's totally not producing anything. Are you doing anything now? You're totally not. How about, oh, there we go. I was too impatient. Leaves are falling. Here they are. Well, that's good to know. That's important to know for rendering, because there's that means I have to go and leave it on for I'd have to let it render for about 10 seconds for the particle emitter to warm up and kick in. Otherwise, we're going to see them only at the very end here. That is nice. I think that's going to add a lot to it, especially if we go and put the second one in as well. And now we have two colors of those leaves. That's it, the old 10 to 15 second pre-roll. That's so true. Do you know, it isn't actually, this is, you might be familiar with it. This was, I think, available on the Epic Store, was it last month? This is it here, the Tokyo Stylized Environment. That's the one. And believe it or not, this was on my wish list for a while, and I was this close to buying it at one point because I really liked the look of it. And then Epic made it free. I don't think it was, I forgot when it was, but yeah, good project. See if you can find it in your library. You might already have it. Here's a link to it. And the other one we were discussing is one of the characters that I'm using here with the Wafty code. That is Twin Blast, and he's available for free. He's part of the Paragon package, or part of the Paragon characters. And this one here is from where I stole the effects from. That is something called the Messenger, and that was part of a, let me see, you can even see him through the trees here. That's going to be nice for the overhead camera. Yeah, these are part of something called the Messenger, which was a Humble Bundle P Fireflies. Let's go put these things in as well. More for in the background. I don't want them to be everywhere all the time. Just put them slightly further back here. Just so that adds a bit of something to the scene. And I think we're going to have a couple of that, more in the foreground and in the background here. Yeah, one here and one sort of there. I think that's going to help the depth of field in the cameras there. Or it's going to make everything look extremely busy, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it is autumn after all, so you're welcome, Kiwi. You're welcome. And hey, did you get your Nordic hair working with the H materials? Let's put all this together in particles, and I might just go and put that into the lighting section. It's not quite lighting, but it keeps it together. That's here. This, I think we're going to go get rid of that. And then this is technically a cinematic, but it can live outside it. Right, has it? Yeah, Humble is good. You can really build up your collection. The ground collision issue. Is that something we need to work on, do you think? I don't recall. But, you know, so I don't have the Omni. I mean, I have the Omni shaders, but your product works without the Omni shaders on my end. So I wonder why it's not working for you, Kiwi. It's weird. Right. I mean, the Omni shaders are fantastic because they work on literally every hair. So if you do have some hair colors that you like, then you know that's going to be beneficial. Well, let's see. Shall we? Let's attempt a little render and see if it works, especially here with the with so many of the... Oh, the girl's camera, of course. We need to work on that. So I can already see that this is gonna... That might be a little much, but I think I'm gonna leave it because it just adds pizzazz to it, especially when we have this depth of field going. Yeah, depth of field. We need to totally work on that. I might do this with focal points, actually. Yeah, let's do that, because sometimes when you track a character, like in this case, camera 5 here, it should look at underbelly, but sometimes it just doesn't work so well. Focus settings, we're using tracking, and oh, you've forgotten it? Underbelly, there we go. Remember. Are you gonna remember this? Because it might not. It might totally not. You're just lucky like that. Right, good point. Good point, Tuck. Do you know there's already a few drawn on the ground, so I'm thinking the particles just emphasize that there is something on the ground, and I just felt they match quite well. I don't know why you're not focus tracking here, buddy. Yeah, it's like it doesn't really remember that. So remember him, right? Remember. Yeah, I wonder what's going on. Some of the other ones, they don't seem to work great. I suppose that's partly the problem with spawnable characters, because the moment, and this is a good test actually, if we save this and the moment I close my sequencer and open it again, does it still remember these focus settings? Because if not, I'm going to convert my characters over into regular things again, and then I can work with focus points. So if I had this, it's forgotten. So okay, that's because it's a spawnable character and it didn't exist to track. So that might be an issue. Well, if that is the case, let's leave the camera spawned, but turn the characters back into regular unspawnable people. That also works by just going to convert them into possessable. So that's now a character in the scene, and the sequencer no longer takes care of that. We'll do that with all of them. In fact, we can do it with multiple at the same time to possessable. So now if I go and close my sequencer and open it again, the characters will stay there. But now that means if I have with focus points, you usually want to track the eyes or the head of the character, and if you track the root node of the character, sometimes the position in between the feet is tracked, and that doesn't look great. So I need something that is in his head height and stays there. So what I might do is add myself, and this might probably be better if you do this in the A pose. Yeah, there we go. That's much nicer. Thank you, Underbelly. Appreciate that. I'll do that for all of you guys here. And I might just go and switch off the particles so that we don't quite see them here. So with Underbelly selected here, I'm going to go and add a regular actor in here, just like do we not have that actor? Or like do we have an arrow, something like that? Arrow, yeah, arrow's good. And that arrow I can go and set independently of the blueprint. So it's a component attached to the character, and I'm going to go and put it right into his eye height. Doesn't have to be killer accurate, but because we can, you know, let's put it here. Focus should be on the eyes, and I'm going to call this one focus helper or focus point, something like that. It's a null object, so it doesn't do anything. And I'll do this on all these characters here. Arrow component is good. Oops. And then I can tell the sequence of what to track there. I think I can track a component on a character. I've never really tried that. With her, I suppose, with her it's actually more the dress that we want to take care of. So actually I'm going to put this on here and sort of on the outside. Yeah, that's more the point we want to keep in focus at all times. I could even give her more than one focus point. What happened to your hair, buddy? That looks terrible. I don't think we'll... Do we ever focus in on her? I'm not sure. Yeah, we do actually. We'll be okay. On Twin Blast we don't really focus on either. It's just her and him here. So let's see if that works. Underbelly, I'm just going to go and call that this, and then we'll do this. And then with the underbelly camera here, okay, interesting. So I can't track a component. That's not good, is it? Dang, so that means I could parent that object to him instead. That's another possibility. Echo would work good well with that hair. Yes, you're right. Oh, so that sort of obliterates that plan then. Okay, fine. We're going to do something else then. Gonna go and do these things again, so I'll go and have just regular actor components then, or actors here. Focus point underbelly. That's probably good enough. Slightly back. So here. And this thing, I'm going to go and parent underneath underbelly. So it retains its position, but it's now hopefully something I can now pick, right? Is that so? Tree camera should go at the bottom here. And then this focus tracking. Oops, focus point UB, perfect. So that now should track underbelly perfectly, right? It doesn't. It should do though. Well, it sort of works most of the time. Maybe I'm using, maybe 1.8 is too much. Maybe I'll use 2.8. Although I do like that shallowness, I have to say. Let's try 2.2. Are you saying this is you, Art? We'll see what it comes out in the final render. I might have to, it looks like it's just, it takes a moment to catch up almost. So maybe it's just because, maybe it's the preview. Let's hope it is. Let's hope it is. Let's do the same for Orange Dress Girl then. I think this worked quite well. So you guys, okay, so we can't do a component on the character. It has to be just a parented object. That'd be nice to have a component on a character trackable. Maybe there's even something that is built into Unreal Engine that facilitates that. Oh, that didn't work out well, did it? We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Oh yeah, we need to have her. In her case, it's the dress, isn't it? Not the eyes. I keep forgetting that. Been tracking too many characters' eyes recently. So something here. It's just an average. Dress focus point, and we'll go and parent that underneath you. Save, open sequencer. Moves like Jagged, yes. I like it. You got the moves like Jagger. Focus point is, of course, ding, there we go. So I think all that remains now is literally to correct the camera position, right, for the dress. It's probably a fixed offset, but I think it's probably easier if we just go and do it all again. Camera 4, make you visible. Oh, you are visible. You're invisible. There you are. Gotcha. Second viewport. Pick dress cam. Very cool. You've moved the girl, Jay. Ah, yes. I totally forgot. Whoops. I'm excited to see that not every keyframe needs to be corrected. I think I might go closer here as well. I mean, it is the dress close-up cam after all. I'm excited to see how this is going to come out when it's done. I think there's still some work to be done on the camera positions. Oops. So many adjustments all the time, I tell you. Okay, one more. We're nearly there. This is perfect. This is nice. We're there. We're there. Okay, perfect. Okay. Do you stay in vision? Yes. Do you stay in focus? Well, mostly. Almost. Okay, good. How about the other guys? Overhead, I'm thinking maybe I'll make that a bit less wide, maybe even. And then we have this camera here. What does it look like? It's a good master shot. But what to do about the focus? Let's track. Let's track that as well. Then this one. What to track? Oh yeah, her here. That is echo. Just the full figure. What does it look like? I think for this shot, oh, that was that good? Did we like that? Oh, okay, so we need to shift focus to these guys at that point. I'll do it with a manual focus point. I will do that with a manual focus point. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. I'll call it rare. Mr. Nate, how's it going? I have saved. Thank you, Julia. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Neville, so true. This is exactly right. This is also why it takes one guy basically forever to do something that mediocre, but it takes him like years. It's crazy, isn't it? You're on a coffee break. How exciting. What are you coffee breaking from? Welcome, CASG. How's it going? It is so true, though. It does take literally forever to do literally anything. So this is going to be my focus point that will shift from sort of here, and we're going to have to track this. Focus point rare, and we need to add a transform track. Track it here, and it can more or less stay in this position. I don't need it to move until that camera here shows these guys. So up until here, this is fine. So we're going to go set a keyframe there, and at this point I want that to move to here, because that's now where the action is. See if I can do it without moving my viewport here. I can't. Okay, fine. So yeah, so basically in between these guys, that's where this moves. So this is essentially like the focus puller at work here. This guy moves from here to there, and then we can probably stay here. Or can we? No, we can't, because I'd imagine maybe we go back. And maybe we want to stay. Oh yeah, we need to have that not track echo, but that. Perfect. So now it keeps tracking that point, which is nice. So first it's on echo as we go here. That focus works, and then as the camera moves to these other guys, this is where the focus point moves, and then the focus is correct. We need to obviously not show that, and then maybe we can stay with up until here, because that doesn't matter. Up until here, and then we're going to just stay with underbelly, I'm thinking. You can even tell the camera to start tracking one object and then start tracking another, so you can do that as well. But it's tricky to get the interpolation correct. So this is good, sort of up until here. I'm thinking at this point we can probably then, so leave it until there, and then from from here to there. This is where we want that to be on underbelly, and then he just moves away. So that's where the focus can stay. Right up until here. Just in case we show him again. It is so true. This is why it takes forever to get anything done in 3D animation. It's very rewarding and it's nice to know all these things. But hey, every time you see something mediocre, it's just they probably ran out of time, is the official line. Oh, okay. No way! No way, Nate, that's crazy. What are you applying for? Just out of curiosity. Oh, okay, nice one. Sweet, in a virtual environment. What do you guys use? How exciting. Oh, LinkedIn. Really? I didn't know they had their own virtual environments. I tell you, there was oh, Unreal Engine, of course. Now, that's fantastic. Even better. Hey, that's really cool. That's insane. Look at where Unreal Engine is. What sort of industries it's in. It's crazy, man. You know, the coolest thing that I was part of a trial. Well, actually, no. Julia was part of a trial, I think. And it was a company, and this is where working virtually all across the globe is actually, you know, is a reality. But sometimes we want to take a break together. But that's difficult if you're a company and you want to say, hey, I've got like 50, 100 employees or something, and I want everyone to have a pizza. But it's weird if one guy's in Korea and it's afternoon, and one guy's in Australia and it's morning, and one guy's in Europe. And how do we make that happen? I mean, do I phone 3 pizza companies in 7 different countries? I can't do that. So there's a company that facilitates that. So you pay the company a set fee per person, and they take care of getting everyone at the same time globally a pizza and a drink. That is so cool. And everyone gets it from a different supplier, of course. And that's incredible. And Julia was part of this project, and they did that for her, and the pizza arrived, and for everyone. So everyone was still on Discord or on Zoom, and everyone was having pizza together, but everyone was in a different country. That is just so cool. The organization behind that is just insane, isn't it? But hey, they made it work, and I'm thinking that's just so cool. That is so cool. Global Uber, exactly. Richard Scher, thank you so much for subscribing, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes, I hear that as well. If you want to take that on, hi, I'm Dragonade from Canada. I'm happy to run the US for a few years. That job's up for grabs. Speak to Joe. He's looking for somebody to endorse. I think he's got a candidate in mind already. Apparently they allow presidency from people who are in prison, so I wouldn't rule it out. The president job is up for grabs. That is too cool. So what do our cameras look like? This looks okay. It's just not spectacular enough. I think there's not enough close-ups in the beginning. But that's where I've got my close-up cam for. But I think we can probably make it look better. We might go, shall we go to the overhead a little earlier? Like after 5 seconds. And then this overhead, didn't I make that a bit tighter? Or did I imagine that? I think I might have imagined that. The hairs here. Right. No, hang on. The his. Did I not make that overhead? overhead camera, tight her. Oh, it's just awkward framing from here to there. I get you, buddy. That's fine. We just want to do that. And then that. I thought I made myself clear here. I think maybe I didn't. See how that plays. Even if it's too fast in some of the repositioning, it's okay. And background action, I don't think we're going to have time for that, but I'm happy to come back to this and give it that extra character and some more crowds in the background. I'm thinking that's probably a good call. So we'll pick this project up, but I think for now I'm pretty happy so far. I think just on the just here, I think I might go and come in a little earlier from the overhead into this. And I think then we should already cut to a close-up maybe of that. I think that's probably good here. So we do this. Then we're here, and then maybe that could also come a little earlier. Well, it's fine that we have him, so maybe then I think more edits is good. This looks better than that, so then this can be the trees. Does that look cool? This sort of flows. We've just seen him, so I'm thinking let's use the dress close-up cam here. Come out a little earlier, like here. And since we've just seen that, maybe we'll go and have the overhead here. Just add that in overhead here. I think overhead can probably stay a little longer. Overhead, I like. Me too, actually. CASG. We were just debating that earlier. I'm not quite sure, actually. Probably maybe some Wonder Shakes, perhaps. I'm not sure about the ending, but I think I'll be out a little earlier. I think that's gonna be okay. And then of course, oh yes, maybe you weren't here earlier for that. We also have some particle effects. Let me show you that. Particle like these guys here. So they're gonna have these falling leaves, and there's a little bit of overhead light here. Is that too much? I think that's just gonna add some funky stuff to it. Let's go and render it out and just see the full render of this. So I'm just thinking ahead here. Bit of background action here, people walking on the sidewalks. When we come to that, there's really not much we can do there. This needs to be a little brighter. I don't think I'm getting an impression that it's really focusing on the characters here. So I might swap that shot out. This here, cars, something like that, background action. I think that's going to be nice. It would be cool to show the train as a quick establisher. So I'll see if I can come up with that little establishing shot. Yeah, but let's render this out and then we'll see what it looks like. Come on, can we do this? Not like that. We're gonna go do that. Yes. Yes. Do we have render settings already? We do. Okay, good stuff. That's good. And this here, that can be good. I think we don't have much foliage, but I think I'll add console variable. There we go. There it was. Foliage force LOD, I think. Foliage force LOD 0, so we're seeing the best quality. Anti-aliasing, I'll leave on 1 for now. We'll just need to make sure that the warm-up count at 60 frames a second, we need at least 10 seconds for the leaves to fall, so it'll be 600, I'm thinking. Let's do that, and let's render locally. Yes, let's do that. Even chaos has order. Yes, I agree. Even chaos has order. That is a great song. Let's do that. Let's do the spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round song. What were they called again? What were they called again? That was a great song back in my day. Good point, Camilla. Oh, do you know, I also forgot that we need to have that 10 seconds in the beginning for the cloth to settle. So look, 600 frames was not enough. It was enough for the dust particles. I can see them coming out, but I cannot see the falling leaves. So maybe them dancing will actually make him come out. Who knows? Maybe that's it. Isn't it insane? I mean, it's not using any anti-aliasing. So for the final render, I'd probably use 8, and that increases the render time. 4K also transparency, if you need it, that increases it. But this is just it's insanely good. It's insanely good. And yeah, and most of a lot of what it's calculating is literally the cloth physics on the orange dress. And that all works with no overhead. I didn't have to bake out a chaos cache and then, you know, put that on the timeline. And all of that is just, it's just built in, man. It's cool, isn't it? Yeah, for like quality renders, they still take a little longer than this, but hey, we're still talking under a frame a second or something like that. Yeah, look, so now after another 600 or so frames, we see the falling leaves. So I think I'm going to have to increase that to like maybe 2000. Sweet. Dual-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, you need experience to get a job, but nobody wants to give you experience. Insane. Look at that. Look at it go. Great stuff. This is really what I want to focus on, the whole chaos cloth dynamic with the DAS dress. I can see it's getting a little bit out of focus here. So have I set the focal point correctly? I'll have to check that out. Yes, fingers crossed. Some people even say that if they get rejected, I think it's sort of more like a mind game. If they get rejected one more time and one more time and one more time, they say, hey, do you know what? This is actually good because every rejection gets me closer to the next, what's it called? To the next Like the opposite of rejection. That is. So if it is in fact 1 in 1,000, then hey, that's okay. 999 more to go, and I'll definitely get the job. That's what gamblers tell themselves in Vegas, though, as well. So thankfully, there are exceptions to the rule, so you don't have to get rejected 999 times, because that is acceptance. That's the one. Been rejected so many times that I've forgotten what the opposite is called. Yeah, true. But then, the opposite happens as well. I mean, I get job offers all the time for things that I'm totally not qualified for. But it's all these recruitment agencies that just say, "Oh, great! You've been dabbling in iOS development for like 15 years ago. We have this great job for you, really." The best is this guy who keeps hounding me to open a cement concrete franchise in Florida, because I'm just the man for the job, really. Whenever I ever dealt with concrete in my life, I must have been 13 when my parents built a house. Yes, I was there. I may have handled concrete. Does that qualify me to run a franchise in Florida? Dang. Hardcore math. I like it. Is that? It's because I'm solid. That's why. All right, I'll get in touch with the guy. Jay's franchise thing, we'll call it. Because we're solid, and that's going to be the tagline. Jay's concrete stuff, because we're solid, brah. Could be. That isn't bad. Is that $117 a month per shift? per day? That'd be good. No, that's a nice substitution. That is the government looking after the education of their folks. That's not bad. I like it. Per month, not per shift. That'd be great. I'm doing a double shift today at school. I'm doing the early and the late shift. That isn't bad. It doesn't matter that it's, you can't live off it, but it's a nice incentive. It's nice. It's not nothing. It's not like, oh, you have to pay to go to school. No, it's good. I like it. I've just heard that in Finland, the hospitals are not allowed to make a profit. I thought that was very solid as well. The moment you turn healthcare into a business, and they're looking at how much money is our business making, and we can't afford to do these surgeries anymore, or we can't take these patients anymore. That's when things go seriously wrong. If a government says, hey, hospitals are not profit organizations, they're there for the welfare of our people, that is pretty cool. I like that. Cool. It's very nice. So when they do happen to make a profit, they have to give it back to the people who've paid them. I love that. That is good. Right, because school is expensive, exactly, and you do have those costs. That's nice. Oh, none of mine, thankfully, CASG. Were any of you affected by the recent, what's it called, the crowdsource, what are they called? this organization who pushed an update to millions of Windows computers, and they all got into a kernel panic, and it had to be manually fixed because there wasn't an automatic patch they could roll out. Lots of airlines and stuff. CrowdStrike, that's him. Same here, not affected. We work with Teams, Microsoft Teams, and I had sort of expected that it might fold, but nothing happened. So yeah, I hear that. It's also, what I found interesting about it is just how it just highlights that relying too much on computers in the cloud isn't such a good idea. There was this one airline in the US, forgotten the name, one of the sort of medium ones. They deliberately said, yeah, we we didn't go with any of that. We're still using relatively outdated technology, but our system works, and we don't want updates for it because it's sort of, it works. And they were not affected, and they were like, ha ha. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, I'm actually glad how fast it got fixed. I'm glad it didn't take, months, weeks, or whatever. Yeah, it just shows that if the way you run your business is happening at the behest of somebody else's infrastructure, who says nothing is ever going to go wrong with these people? So 60 per fortnight, also not bad. It's also an incentive. Again, it's not nothing. It's nice. And if you say it was a few years ago, you would have been a mature student at that point as well. Nice one. Yeah, absolutely. Or not to let people like CrowdStrike push anything untested or do something that goes straight into the whatever it was, boot sector type thing. Make sure there's literally a one-click option to revert the changes if something goes bad. I hope they've learned from that. Yeah, I sincerely hope so. So look at that. We've had just close to 4,000 frames, and it took Unreal Engine just around 10 minutes to render that. That isn't bad at all. That isn't bad. This was at 1080, by the way. That wasn't even a lower resolution, because a lower resolution renders just as fast. So it's very good. Yes, and the fact that it was worldwide was kind of scary as well, wasn't it? Like how many people are relying on Amazon's, and well, not in this case, not Amazon's cloud, but we all rely in some shape or form on something like Azure or AWS, Google Cloud. It's true. It's true, it's true. Oh, look, I had 2 instances of Unreal Engine open. I didn't mean to have that running. Let's go and watch it in Premiere. Take this out, go this Control R so that we have a little bit more power here. Yes, I think so too. I think so too. We're getting too digitalized. I like the idea that we retain some stuff that isn't in the frickin' cloud, and some, for not just for emergencies. I mean, this reliance on internet is quite, it's now when you lose power, well, we can live with that. Without internet, it's crazy. I'm going to check Facebook and Twitter. Must have internet. UE Dance Party. I think that was something that was just over rendered, so I don't even have to set this up. I think. Media Pedante. Oh no, this is the old one here. So this was the preview I had, and now I think we may just have to do a little bit of reshuffling in the render folder. Chaos Cloth Dance Party. Yeah, this is going to be Dance Party V2, I think. And it's just rendered it into the same folder here, so it had a different file name. Yeah, this one's called Tokyo V2. And what music are they going to be jamming to? I still don't know. I still don't know. Chaos Cloth Dance Party V2 image sequence, yes. Yes. Yes, also not 24 frames. We want to go and say this was 60 frames, Miss Moneypenny. And we can just go and ditch that. Okay, here we go. This is what it looks like rendered and in real time. That's not bad. So that with anti-aliasing is going to look even better. I'm particularly proud of this. I'm going to check the focus on that, and I think I'm going to go and render that out just the dress camera again, so that in boring parts I can just go and slot that in the edit if I have to. So far, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. With background action, that's going to be the next trick. So that really has to be the focus. So I might go and just cut to that a few more times and get away from the wider shots. I just have lots and lots of edits there, so I'll see how that goes. And again, we might just have another character. I'm thinking over there, and maybe another one over here, so maybe two characters. Aside from passers-by, maybe people watching, people on their mobiles. That'd be kind of nice, I'm thinking. And I'll go and it doesn't actually look so bad, the beginning. We can just cut that off and have that establisher with the train going. Right. But then also that's because we're working with it, we're earning money with it, so it's important to have those types of things. This needs to be a little bit lighter there, so I think just maybe for that shot I'll have an additional light that's just on for that moment, that looks a little bit more balanced. Other than that, I think the close-ups work much better. The wide shots are okay, but I want to have more close-ups here. So I'm liking how this is coming together. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching, for hanging out with me. I'll try and do this. I can't do it next Saturday. Next Saturday I'm doing a DAS Plus stream. If you're around for that, then check your emails for from the friendly DAS folks who are gonna totally tell you what the topic is. I don't know it yet, but I have an idea. We'll see if we can make it happen. Thank you so much for being here. I won't be back on Sunday because... No, I might be back on Sunday. I think I might be back on Sunday. I might be back on Sunday. Or during the week if I find the time. On Twitch, I sometimes work on these types of things. This started as a Twitch thing last week and worked out well. So I'm going to keep hammering away at it. And I hope I'll see you for the next installment. Take care, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of Sunday and have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.